All right, we're going to skip over a few questions, go to the million-dollar question. Why did orange juice come out of the orange? Because that's what's inside of it. Very good. And because pressure was applied. I'm going to tell you, if you haven't been squeezed, you know what I mean by squeezed? Some of you that have been with Nikan for 16 years or so, you've been squeezed. No two ways about it. How many of you ever been squeezed in any way financially? I have. I lost $500,000 in one move. That's being squeezed. How many of you ever been squeezed in relationships? All of a sudden, you got a serious relationship problem. When I was in my 20s, I was engaged to be married. 3 days before the marriage, the gal split, disappeared on me. That's being squeezed. Yeah, I often thought a great introduction to me would be all my failures. Yeah, a bit different. How many ever had the gentleman just lost his wife? How many ever been squeezed physically with a medical problem? I'm going to tell you this, if you have not been squeezed, you ain't doing nothing. Sooner or later, you're going to get squeezed. If you're not being squeezed now, you're going to be squeezed, and the question will be, what is going to come out of you? The time to work on what's inside you is before you're in a crisis, not while you're in one. While you're in one, it's really too late. I took our company to New York right after 9/11 happened, basically rubbed all my employees' faces in the tragedy, and said, that's why we're in business. We're in a culture war, whether you like it or not. Very simply, there's people that value life and people that don't. There's people that are all about greed, and there's people that are about contribution. We're in a culture war, whether you like it or not. And it's important for us to work out that when we went to New York, one of the interesting things was all the firemen, not one of them that we talked to, and we talked to several, thought they were brave. Every one of them said, I was just doing my job. What had happened was they had practiced going into the fire when there really wasn't a fire. I mean, they made a false fire, so to speak. They practiced going into the fire so many times that when the Twin Towers came down, they didn't even think. It was like part of their software to just go into the fire. And what we need to do on the inside of us is practice things so many times, like giving, that even in economic times like these, that are once every 2 or 3 generations, we're still giving even though we're being squeezed. That's what's inside of us. And I believe that that's part of what you're developing with Nikan across borders, just as the one lady said up here, across religions, across cultures, all the way. That's what you're really doing across the whole planet.